Hi guys, Ninja Spence here, and then today we're just going to bring you another video about basically, my story about getting back into art, and then today that we're just going to be showcasing a little speed paint idea of the Sailormoon redraw challenge that was introduced in May. For the most part, then I never really drawn much fan art as a kid growing up, and then I kind of took a hiatus from art from college that there will be probably more about that up in a later video. But then I just wanted to just participate in this challenge, and I thought that it would be pretty good to try to test out my skills. And as you see that we are doing the line art, and then I am using Paint Studio Pro for that the first time I also tried out. And I was also trying out a new coloring style apart from just my general cell shaded style. Now on to about Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was one of the first animes that I had watched growing up as a kid. Whenever I first saw Japanese animation before I knew exactly what it was going to entail. Sailor Moon was on that same block as Dragon Ball Z on Toonami back in the 90s, and I watched both of those consecutively, and it was just a pretty good show, honestly. That it had preached girl power, girlhood. That it was basically like your run of the mill, almost Power Rangers like show, which in fact was probably just a pure genius show. So then I just remember being just drawn to like Sabrina's or else Usagi's quirkiness that I grew up with the English names. So then that I might just refer to them as somewhat pseudo of their English and in Japanese names. However, then that's not what this video is about. Just about me reminiscing about Sailor Moon, growing up with it. It is basically about me coming back into art. For that the times of during just that we have been at stay-at-home orders and such. I have been doing a lot of sketching recently to pair with just my writings, and then this is just going to be a whole like rebranding of my channel and stuff. My parkour injuries have basically succumbed my training and plus my mental stature, along with basically grad school and in a few years of not being super, I don't want to say not into the sport or training, just, basically I had some other things to focus about, which we will get into another video about. But more or less, it is honestly, time for me to actually pick up the pen and get back to paper and drawing and also writing a little bit more serious this time around, as that I had made a goal to myself of that I wanted to be a character concept artist and character illustration, just in case the people want their Dungeons and Dragons, that their RPG characters drawn, or even some OCs drawn. And it's just basically, it helps me out visualizing my writing styles and technique. It just helps, And then as that you can see now, then I'm basically doing the base colors here now. About to go ahead and then get ready to basically, do the rest of the coloring. But yeah, it's, I think it's high time for me to basically get back into the art world and practice, so that way that I can also show up with just my writing and such. But yeah, that this challenge itself was actually pretty fun and somewhat challenging, in fact, because, I think I only drew like 2 fan art pieces as a child. I had drew a picture of a Spyro, and then I believe it was a Goku that, but that was the extent of my fan art. Everything else was just like original characters. And now then I'm just realizing that I probably should have did my color palette first, and then also had the reference. And then I tried as best as I can to basically use the reference lighting and stuff as just that a general light source, in which I think that worked out pretty well for me. but yeah, it's just more so basically then I'm just still just trying to get used to the program and stuff. That I kept on still messing up the brushes and such. But then that that anyway, then that this is a hiatus coming back from art for that the longest, and then it just feels good to be back in, because it's just something about it is just, it's just relaxing whenever I had worked on this piece here and then like looking back at it and stuff, that I realized that, that it's still my first forte, still getting used to drawing on a pen display, but I think I did a pretty good job actually constituting my style very well. Now I did notice that I used a very different reference photo from the one that I used for just my colors, because that the reference photo that I have doesn't have her bow showing, but still it is more or less at the same pose. And it's just basically, it's just, a good challenge, to do, and then that I would highly recommend men artists to always try to redo an art challenge and stuff and draw it up in their own style. And as far as channel updates go, we are going to be working on a few new things actually. For one, that we're going to try to transition to more of a art and lore building channel. Basically, that I am going to help you guys create lore for your characters. Like how I create lore for just my characters and such, and just what it just overall means to basically have those fundamental groundworks made up for your characters. Such as basically, how to use a randomizer the right way, or else how to basically not come off as basically that you are copying something. Because truth be told, that there is no such thing as originality anymore. It's just basically different takes on it. That we can all basically do like similar things and similar processes. But at the end of the day, nothing is truly original unless of course if you put your own spin on it. You know. And then here we are just coloring the hair and stuff, and then that, honestly that using the mask tool was actually very exciting for me for using this airbrush style. No, I knew I could have probably did a little bit better on the eyes, but that's okay. It's just probably just me being just hypercritical of myself, self while we were going with it. But yeah, and then it's just basically, whenever that you are drawing and stuff that you just basically have to basically be, just, well enough to basically realize that, hey, that I need to do this my way, my way, but still learn. You know. Another thing is then that, as far as Twitch content goes, that that I do work a regular, I do have a day job. So basically, if I'm not really uploading on a consistent schedule, it might be because I might be a little bit of tiredness from like all of the working from home, but it still will be some art content coming in soon. I am going to try my best to basically, like give you guys some art content, maybe on a bi-weekly basis. If not, at least try to do a weekly basis video. And then here we go again. I'm basically still kind of messing up on the fact of like I really didn't have all of my line art completed just yet. And then honestly, that that's quite all right. That I'm very proud of this piece, and that I cannot be looking, and then I cannot wait to even further expand my horizon on basically mastering that the airbrush technique before that that I get on in the full digital painting pieces. Excuse me. Well, anyway, it's just basically whenever that you are just creating stuff, you just have to just be patient with yourself and basically, do what you can and stuff. And then that we are all learning. That from what I learned from this Sailor Moon challenge was basically how to basically not emulate somebody else's work, but put your own flair and spin into it. I know that I have seen some funny ones to where then they basically made her into like Majima from basically the Yakuza series or a zombie. And then that's quite all right because then that's their interpretation of Sagi. Whereas then I just tried to go a little bit more traditional, and then I think I honestly did a pretty good job. Considering the fact that I took a break from art, but I still did art on and off for some years. But I just never truly, honestly, kind of like completed stuff. And then there I go again, trying to use some of the line art and stuff. Wow. Then honestly, that mask to do the collar of the sailor of that the I don't know what those are called. I want to say the collar. Yeah, that we would just go with the collar. Collar turned out extremely well. And then that I am also experimenting and stuff by basically like cleaning up some of that line art and such. But yeah, that I am just gonna like just basically just say that thank you guys so much for watching this. That that this is the first of many more speed paints to come. Really and truly that this was very relaxing to do. And then I cannot look forward to basically create more art content for you guys. And then there I go, basically doing some cleaning up and stuff. But that will come up in due time. That this is my full art process currently. While I'm still learning this software, Clip Studio Paint might actually replace Photoshop for me because I've been a Photoshop user for quite a while. And honestly, Clip Studio Pro is actually much more. I want to say not user friendly, but more artistic friendly almost. And then then I just basically just tried to do something with the and then it just didn't just work out too well. But then like I said, then that's quite all right, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's about just basically how much work that I want to put into it. And then I just decided to just basically make some strands for the hair and such. And then and finally, that the background, I am actually very impressed by that, because then I basically drew the background on the pencil sketch underneath as you saw earlier, and then I just decided to just basically just go for it. I just wanted to make sure to get my perspective right. And then I am honestly quite impressed with the way that it had turned out. I mean, I'm still learning. That I don't know how to like deselect all, and I'm just trying to just get in all of those gaps and stuff. And then that although that I did not crop the picture in this software, that I did crop it in Photoshop and stuff. So then that what you will be seeing at the end of this video is that the full version. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and please comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.